Okay, we'll call the special meeting of the New Ulm Economic Development Authority for Monday, April 19th at 4 PM to order. Just a quick question then, should we do the public meeting notification before the other items at hand so we can certify that we're doing it electronically or by teleconference?
I would say yes.
Okay, so we'll just move item 3.1 to the beginning of our agenda, and we'll have an order filed for a public notice by the authority to conduct the meeting by teleconference, and that's because Jessica is calling in today, although it's noted that she has already stated she would be abstaining from any official vote. So we can go ahead and waive roll call vote, and we could do voice vote because the votes would be all those members present.
I'll make a motion to receive the order.
I'll second it.
First and second, any additional discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item on the agenda then is item 2.1, to receive and order a file special meeting. Oh, whoops, I'm sorry. We're looking for the notice to consider authorizing a loan with conditions to M&K Forestry and Land Management Services in the amount of $50,000 from the EDA fund.
I'll make a motion to receive and order filed a special meeting notice.
The motion.
It's been offered and seconded. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. Item number 4 is to consider the loan request then by M&K Forestry and Land Management in the amount of $50,000.
Commission President, Commissioners, before you have a loan that was presented last week to you. There's been a little bit of update to the items here. One is that the owners will sign a personal guarantee that will be one of the conditions to the loan. The second is I did misspeak last week, and the LLC has not been formed yet, but Chris and Mike will touch base on that. And then the last item would be, according to the state of Minnesota, owners do count as job creation, so they will in fact be creating 2 jobs, meeting the requirement of job creation. So with that, I will turn it over to the commission to see if they have any questions for Mike and Chris to answer.
For starters, thanks guys for coming here today so we could hopefully get this all hashed out and get it figured out what we're going to do here. So thanks for your attendance. I could start with a question if that's okay. Just looking at your projections for your revenues, did you have that broken down to like how many contracts you would anticipate or jobs for the coming year? Yeah, go right ahead and step up and.
I am Mike Vetter, the M and M and K.
Yep. Chris Mathewitz, the K and M and K.
As far as having it broken down, yes, I based it on what we believe would be the amount of hours we would put in for a year. And then I think the way it set it up was it kind of took our expenses, our expected expenses, and then what we would make per hour, and then did the math and then it kind of put it together. I used, since I couldn't get a hold of the SBDC, I used it was called, what was it called? It was a site, I actually had to pay for it, where they set up a job or a business plan for you.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you were able to get on the internet?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like $20 a month.
So-
and yeah.
You made several attempts to get a hold of the SBDC and it just didn't get any response?
The only thing I got back was an email saying that they got the request and that someone would be contacting me, and I never got a contact back.
Over what span of time was that?
It's been almost 2 months now.
About 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
The only thing I know
we
about
fund
them-
those guys, that's why I'm asking. It's like, and we felt this was a nice thing just for guys like you that want to get a business going. They have those resources here locally, and if they're not responsive to that, I guess we're gonna have to address that with them.
Right.
Okay, I appreciate that feedback.
Yeah, we would love to work with them, and we have, I mean, that's what we want to do, is work with them, so
Yeah.
Okay.
anything to
okay,
get going and get a better business plan, we're
Okay.
100% there.
So basically, getting back, you said like you're looking at it in terms of billable hours.
Yes.
So
Yep.
it's gonna vary, I suppose, from job to job?
Some jobs will vary.
Sure.
Just kind of an example. There is some base rates you can charge per hour, just depending on what you're doing, because we're going to be doing some. It'll be land clearing. Like for instance, one of our jobs is building up a driveway to put a culvert underneath so the water can run down and not wash out his driveway. Some landscaping, just a little bit of, that's where the land management comes into play.
Okay, so it's not
And-
just simply clearing trees?
No, no.
Okay, a little more diverse? Okay.
Yeah. And for those different things, there's different hourly rates. And if you're looking at a large plot of land, it would be, you can charge either by the acre or by an hourly rate. There's different categories on what you look at when you're standing in front of the job. Like, is this heavily wooded? Is this lightly wooded? And that all varies in what you put together for a bid.
Gotcha,
So,
okay.
yeah.
And I think it had just been discussed here previously that you're anticipating getting like a lot of government work, local units
Well,
and regional
with-
government entities? or
We talked to the insurance company that's going to insure us, and one of their stipulations too was, since we're a new business, they'd like us to stay in Minnesota for a year or two just to get some under our belt, so we're not, in their terms, a risk or so much of a risk. And then they're willing to let us venture out to different states for as far as like FEMA jobs and stuff.
Okay,
But if there's FEMA jobs in Minnesota that need to get done, we can go about that too, so.
and you guys anticipate going wherever the work takes you? it
Yeah, oh,
sounds
yeah,
like?
yeah,
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 okay. Okay,
We plan on talking to DNR and
sure,
different REAs, townships, everything around here. I've got written down, I've got friends that are general contractors, and they have other general contractors. I've talked to people all the way up to Spicer already, as far as general contractors for working on clearing places and doing stuff like that, and
okay.
let's see. Well, and as far as this goes, the guy we plan on buying our equipment from, he's been doing this for over 15 years. And we both talked to him, and he said he would mentor us in anything we need. He's actually given us the website that he uses to do all his bids. He said any questions we have, we can call him
Okay.
anytime.
This fella's retiring then, or?
No,
More or
he's-
less?
He's downsizing
Okay.
because he wants to get into property management.
Gotcha, okay.
So I guess he wants to play a different game in the world, I guess.
Maybe not so hard on the body or whatever.
Yeah, he's getting older,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Anyone else have questions? I don't want to dominate the microphone here.
Just questions with regard to, you had mentioned about obtaining contracts and things like that with, working with contractors. Have you made any of those outreach attempts to have those connections, or where do you?
Well, right now we have 6 different jobs lined up. And like I said, I've talked to about 4 different contractors right now, and there's some jobs on there from them.
Okay.
As far as reaching out and trying to lock down jobs, it's really hard right now because we don't know if we have everything. I mean, I can't
Sure.
promise you we're gonna do something without knowing we have the
Correct.
equipment.
Yeah.
So as soon as if everything goes through, I mean, that's when we've already are in talks with an attorney about our LLC. As soon as that goes through, we get registered with the state, we actually get our license number. We can get on these websites and do all the bidding we want and actually give people real numbers and towards their bids and get this business up and running.
Typically when you're bidding, how long after you complete a job do you anticipate for your revenue to come back to you?
I believe we're gonna try to require half down on a job, just kind of like a guaranteed payment. That's how my boss does it now, and it seems to work out well. We have to kind of set a limit as far as how long they have to pay. It could be anywhere from around 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I mean, we'll have to set all that up, but there will definitely be a time limit. But the half down is definitely going to be a requirement, and I think most people understand that when it comes to the construction field. So
So you'd said you got about 6 jobs ready
Yeah.
to go right now. Just based on those, what kind of turnaround, like for those 6 jobs, is that like 2 weeks, 4 weeks for 6 jobs of this nature?
I think these 6 jobs, we could, between the two of us, we could probably knock them out within 2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay, okay.
And there's roughly, what do we figure, right around 30,000 right there in 2 weeks.
yeah,
Okay, okay.
And that's-
25 to 30,000.
So then if you get half of that up front,
Mhm.
that could be kind of your working capital to pay your
Yes.
insurance, to pay your fuel.
Yep.
Those are some of the things we were wondering about, how this is structured. So thank you again. It's making more sense.
Sure. Yep.
I'm sorry, Sue.
Is this your full-time job then, or is it just on the side, you know what I mean?
This will be our full-time
That will
work.
be,
Yep.
okay.
It'll be a part-time side hustle. The first couple weeks doing all the bids, we'll still work our full-time
Yeah.
jobs. And then as soon as we have the orders or the contracts coming in, we're gonna go and
Yep.
go straight into it.
We
Like the
gotta
jobs,
keep money coming in, you know?
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
we have, we've talked to Kelly Dalton. She's gonna be doing our books
Okay.
and our tax preparing.
You
So
guys, if
we
you
have-
guys are familiar with her.
So yeah, we have a third party, so everything's kind of fair. We don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
We're also planning on talking to Lipke Oil about doing a fuel contract with them, since they're a local company too. And obviously, we plan on continue with the SBDC, and anything you guys.
Hopefully they'll return your calls.
Yeah.
That would be
No.
great too, but
I have a quick question for him. As I kind of listened to you guys' meeting the last time. I was running excavator and trying to listen at the same time. But
That's what I call multitasking.
Yeah. But did you mention that you have somebody in town from the SBDC?
Yeah, Chris, you could maybe shed some light on that.
Yeah, so twice a month we do have someone from the SBDC come into here, and it's usually on a Tuesday. But what I'll do is I'll reach out to Mike Hahn, who runs the SBDC out of Mankato, and make sure that they'll get someone for you to meet with, especially for the business plan. But usually it's twice a month that they'll come out here, usually about half a day. Or so from 8 to noon. They're here, but if you need them, in the afternoon, when you get off work, we can work something out with Mike to have them here.
And that's kind of how we envision this whole thing, is we had that set up, and then, we're putting together these loan programs. I think I said that too. I mean, we don't want to, of course, give you $50,000 and not have you pay it back, obviously. But we want to give you the money and try to give you as many tools for your success. And that's one of the reasons we have that. And that's why I was a little bit disappointed that you guys could make that connection, because a lot of this legwork, and again, this is kind of a first for us, so sorry for you guys to be the guinea pig, but I mean, this is the way we kind of envision this kind of coming together, that we'd have these other resources for you, and then come in and have a pretty solid plan, and then come to us, and then okay, makes sense. That's why we asked you to come back today or whatever, but it's, appreciate that. And then hopefully now, going forward, I think you could continue to work with those folks. And if you work through Chris to get that coordinated, I think there'll be some real benefits in carrying through with that and moving ahead with that. I mean, even, I'm assuming at some point, your equipment's going to wear out and need to get replaced, and they can do short-term planning, long-term planning, and, strategic, all of those kind of things to get you on a pathway. And that's what they're there for. And we
Right.
pay them to come here, so,
Right, and like I say, my original plan was to go through them, and when, as
We
we're
actually
trying to,
talked
as we're trying to
that
get,
first person.
yeah, as
that
we're trying to
Wendy or
get
whatever.
through, trying to get things going, because, you only have so much, well, you can do this type of work in the winter, it's not quite as busy as it would be in the summer, but you can still do that. We want to try to work as much of the year as possible, and as we were burning days, I was waiting for him, I thought, well, I need to take this upon myself to try to get things going, so then I tried to put together something we didn't know about the SBDC right away, so I tried to put it together to Shannon's liking, because she's the one handling our loan.
sure.
Yep. And then she brought up you guys doing the EDA work, and I had already had my business plan into her, so.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Good. No, and that's, I think next go-around will be better. Sorry it had to be you guys, but,
Oh, that's okay.
And it's,
but, okay, so I don't know, I think again, this would normally, the city would have handled this with their revolving loan, and so we're kind of stepping into some of that role for some of these types of requests.
Okay.
And that was one of my questions too. So you guys will work during as much of the year as you can, so you don't, like some construction contractors, you don't have some downtime or whatever.
Right.
But again, I imagine that would be something you could have planned for and set funds aside, because this will be a monthly payment loan, right? Year-round, so,
a lot
okay.
of I work in the tree business right now, and we do the land mowing, well, we call it mowing, but it's with these big drum mulchers, and we do it year-round.
sure.
The snow doesn't really bother us, because we can actually we can go right down to bare ground with those mulchers on them. They're pretty crazy pieces of work. So, but I know you guys were talking about the whole growing and staying in New Ulm. We both live in New Ulm, both our families are in New Ulm. I don't plan on going anywhere. I mean, that's what we want to do, is grow. I mean, we've been talking about this business now since, I don't know, October.
Yeah. I'd say.
And I've had over a handful or two of people saying, well, hurry up and get it going, I want to work for you. And I know he has too, and it's like, well, okay, I can hire you, but I don't have any work for you.
Sure.
So we have people that want to work for us, and I'm not talking just New Ulm people, I've got people outside of town that want to come work.
Well, and obviously, when it's us, that's one of our key elements, is that, does it create jobs? If we put seed money out in a loan, that's one of our objectives. The other is, are we going to widen or increase our tax base? So someday, if you guys have a physical shop that you may, we'd hope that you'd think that New Ulm's a great place to have that
yeah.
as well.
That's-
I mean,
that's a
those
goal.
are the things that we kind of look for and want to look for in these. So that, I think, was an important, that's why we were raising those questions last time too.
Yeah, I
But hey,
understand.
two guys starting out, I understand that too. Those are two jobs,
Yeah,
so
I mean, I know you guys
Chris
were
clarified that
saying-
for us,
I
so,
know you guys were saying too, it's only two guys. Well, we don't have the work for multiple people starting off, and
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as we do, it's like we want to get rolling and get people going and
sure.
get as big as we can, as fast as we can. But
I know the loan request is for 10 years. Given your projections are pretty aggressive, do you think with this being equipment, 5-year might be an option, or how do you feel about that?
Oh, it's a 5-year
5-year, yeah, repay back?
Golly, I want to say I want to give it a try, yes, but let me ask you this. Is there, I suppose when it's set, it's set. You can't change that. I mean, I'm not saying we can't pay it back in 5 years, but I don't know if I want to run the risk yet.
Sure.
I mean, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
well, I
Well,
understand.
there's no prepayment penalties on these
Right.
loans, obviously.
I mean,
So,
if we have funds to pay it off early, is there a penalty to that?
No, you can, do extra payments, or a one lump sum payment if you want to go that route.
Okay.
There's no penalties for paying earlier, making extra payments.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely be the plan as funds are,
Yeah, I'd like to
So-
pay off every loan I can before they're due, just for all reasons. I mean, interest rates and so,
I mean, I would say yes, if we're definitely able to pay it off in 5, that'd be the plan, but whether to set that as a limit to 5, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
absolutely.
And as you work with the SBDC in the future too, they can help with,
They can,
yeah,
yeah.
help you with determining where you want to put your cash, so.
Yep.
I did have a question. So your work, you said that you might need to take breaks in the winter, obviously because of weather. Do you, and this would be your full-time job, do you have plans to do any type of winter work, like snow plowing or anything else to supplement your income during the off-season? Okay.
Yes, we do.
in the package deal we're getting through, Reliable Tree Services, the guy we're buying stuff from, there is actually a snow plow in that, included with everything else we're planning on buying from him.
Okay.
So that is one of the things.
Yeah.
And I just, as I know there was a mention about something about leasing and renting equipment from the dealer. We were just looking actually last night, and a skid loader to rent is almost $6,000 a year or a month. And leasing, especially for our kind of work, they don't like to do it right away because of the wear and tear on the machine. Now, if we'd been in business 5 to 10 years, it's a lot easier for Caterpillar to say, sure, we'll lease you this because it's not as big of a deal. We have multiple machines going in and out.
Well, and I didn't know at the time, because I was the one that said that, but it makes much more sense with the situation that you've got, where you're kind of stepping into that role on an existing entity and kind of taking over that and using the same equipment. That, to me, is much more of a practical approach, too.
And this guy, Jim, he leases, because he's been doing it for long enough. He leases, and he does a 3-year lease. So every 2 to 3 years, he actually sells his equipment and buys new. And that's where he's at right now. And his equipment is actually, we've both seen equipment with less hours look way worse than his equipment does. He takes, everything is serviced through Ziegler Cat. Everything is just immaculate. I was surprised
Yeah.
when I got in his machine, so.
That was one of our questions, like how long do you think this equipment's going to last, given how hard you have to use it?
Mm-hmm.
But evidently it's been taken well.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
taken very well care
Very
of,
well
yeah.
care of, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Their machines.
The amount of hours you put on it definitely varies and how well you treat it. I would say it could very well last between 5 and 10 years. Obviously, if we have the funds to upgrade in that time, and then it makes sense. I mean, we're going to take the opportunity, but needing it to last at least 5 to 8 years, I don't think would be an issue if we needed it to. But like I say, if we have the opportunity to upgrade, we're going to take it. So.
Any other questions?
I would like to make a motion to authorize a loan with conditions to M&K Forestry ampersand Land Management Service in the amount of $50,000 from the EDA fund.
We have a first. Motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
First and second, is there any additional discussion?
Just wanted to say that the conditions of the loan being updated gave me a little bit more confidence about this, and also hearing from both of you. I want to give you guys the opportunity to do this, and, I wish you,
We
Yeah.
we both would have loved to have been here last Tuesday. we got a text at 6 o'clock at night
Yep. the
asking,
night
so it was
before.
like,
Yeah.
it was kind of,
Very tough to ask my boss, hey, by the way, I can't come in the morning, you know?
No, we understand that too, and that it's a practical matter. And I think too, even with the SBDC, the more I think about it, there may be some COVID-related issues with their timing too, but hopefully you make that connection and you stay with that. I think it'd be very beneficial for the two of you. Obviously, you guys are hard workers. The challenge comes, you know what you're doing with the tree business. It's the business part of it that we hope we can offer some assistance to you too through the SBDC, so.
I've been in the construction field for 15 years, so I'm no stranger to working hard.
Yep, yep. Great,
Yeah.
okay.
And one more question, Chris, you'd be able to help us kind of get in touch with them?
Yes, and then, if you do have any questions just on the city side of things, we can help, the city can help you too, help you also get through some of the hoops and stuff like that for business-related things. I'll touch base with you. I'll run upstairs after this and get my business card and give it to you guys so you have my direct contact information.
That'd be great.
Good.
Thank you.
Well, we have first, second, we have discussion. Any additional discussion? Otherwise, we'll call for a voice vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. So, congratulations and good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
thank you very much.
Again, thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
All right, I think that concludes our meeting for today.
Perfect.